If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Mr. Nice Guy, Johnny Lopez, on the show. He returns to action on January 24th. He's going to take on Blaine Shutt for the vacant CES flyweight title at CES 60 at the home of CES, Twin River Casino in Lincoln, Rhode Island, live on UFC Fight Pass. Johnny, how are you, sir?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So it's great to have you here. We're around 3 weeks away from this fight. You're shot at CES gold around your waist. How has everything been going in the gym in preparation for this fight?
Real good. I got no complaints. I feel lucky and blessed enough that I feel like I've had a few, really good camps in a row. Right now I really don't have any injuries, anything like that. Not that I'd really tell you or complain anyways, but right now I just am lucky that it's a smooth ride right now, man. We're working hard.
What's really cool about this event and sort of the setup of it is you, along with your coach and training partner, Matt Bessette, you're both going to be fighting on the same card, both fighting for belts. What has that sort of done for the mentality at the gym and for both of you guys heading into this card?
For me personally, it's, steps it up a notch. Like for, Matt kind of took me under his wing and he showed me, so much that, it was always a goal of mine personally. Like, oh, if I get on a card with Matt, that'd be awesome just to share that, to be in the back room, both of us getting ready for a fight instead of him he's always in my corner. So instead of him being a coaching aspect, actually be there fighting with me. It's cool just to have that in my like MMA storyline kind of, just to have that. I appreciate it. And for me, it steps it up because I know he's going to come out official. So I need to too. I'm going to step it up a level myself as well.
Do you feel like in a way you feel almost a small responsibility to set the table for him? Because he's going to be watching. I'm sure he's not going to be cornering you like he normally does. But do you feel like in a way you have to set the table for him? That I don't want to put extra pressure on you, but you probably know what I mean.
And I put pressure on myself, so I don't take anything that anybody says as extra anything. Like I'm ready. I put all that, on myself, but I know how to handle it. So I hope to set up Matt where I get him super hyped. He's going to be hyped up and ready no matter what. If I come out and just fight the way that I fight and the way I know I can come out, then, I know I'm going to set him up nice. So we're going to have an exciting fight. Me and Blaine is going to be a banger. It's going to be an awesome one. So everybody stay in their seats. I don't think it's going 5 rounds no matter who wins the fight.
I'm going to be talking to Matt probably in the next week or so getting ready for this fight. But, just to get a little preview, have you noticed a difference in Dad Matt?
I think the same thing for me. The biggest thing is the schedule. Like Dad Matt, still the same Matt, still hardworking Matt, but now it's at different times of the day. So you'll see him at the gym at like 1 a.m. when he gets out of work at 11 or whatever. So he's still getting it in, but it's just awkward times now. He's got the baby schedule going on. So God bless him, man, but he's always working. So I know he's ready right now if we had the fight.
I've been following along your career for a little while now. I watched you fight at Reality a couple of times, and you've been on this really incredible run as of late because you got the 4 straight wins. You've won 11 out of 12 heading into this fight. And to me, when people talk about New England fighters and some of the guys that are in the region who are on the come up, I feel like your name isn't coming up enough. Like, do you feel that as well? Do you feel like you may be, in a way, being overlooked in these conversations? Because I feel like you're being overlooked a little bit here.
I appreciate that. And I think so, too. I think I don't see, not that like, oh, I got to really see my name in all these articles. But, I'm used to every fight or in a lot of aspects of my career, people sleeping on me. I come in even at 125, like I'm usually a smaller guy. I'm not the tallest individual, but and obviously we're really skinny at 125, but I always see myself as the underdog anyways, always like in my mind, like I gotta step up and beat this dude because everybody thinks he's gonna, destroy me. And I don't know, it puts me mentally in a good spot. So it'd be cool to get more recognition always, especially as MMA fighters. We need that to like elevate ourselves, our career and stuff too. It helps, more people that talk about you. But I'm just gonna control what I can control, man. And that's just coming out every fight. I'll just keep trying to dominate and looking for finishes all the time. I think with that, hopefully will come more recognition. We'll see.
From what I'm hearing, you relish this underdog role. It's almost like you prefer this.
Cool. Let's show like, if they have like a top 5 like prospects, coming out, I think they always steer away from me, and I get it because usually we'll go to the younger fighters. And I think with me being in my 30s, then they're like, like he's not going to get looked at by the UFC because of his age. So I get kind of what they're, certain aspects of what they're saying, but I don't know. I'll just go out there. I'll beat all the young bucks then. That's just my job. I'll be the OG and show everybody what's up.
There you go. And the next step in doing that is January 24th against Blaine Shutt. He's a Pennsylvania guy. He's fought for a lot of promotions in the tri-state area. I know he just fought for CFFC, just fought Sean Santella in his last fight. He's been in there with some tough guys. Did you know much about Blaine when you found out that you're going to be fighting him?
I didn't know much about him before, but I've seen obviously a lot of film and stuff like that now, and dude's a good fighter. I was like, okay, this is a legit title fight. And the Sean Santella fight, man, was really good. Like he ended up losing, but like Santella's, nasty too, and he's an OG, been in the game for a long time. So I think that savviness played in his favor. That experience hard to account for.
I know from talking to Bessette a bunch of times over the years, the opponent to him never really matters. It's about becoming the best martial artist that you can be heading in these fights. Now, he has obviously a student of the game mentality, which I'm sure has gone on to you as well. He takes in a lot of information that way, just watching a lot of fights and just taking it in that way. Doesn't really focus on his opponent's traits or fighting styles very much. Do you view fights in preparation the same, especially with you being under Matt's wing? Is that your mentality heading into fights as well?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to describe it. Like I try to take a lot of what I see, a lot of his success. So, for a lot of my camps, like I didn't diet as strictly as I even understood how to. So he helped me out a lot with that. He helped me out a lot with just seeing what a real training schedule should be like, trying to get in double sessions all the time instead of just coming in, once when you're first starting MMA and you think like, oh, okay, yeah, I went to class today. That's cool. But really having to throw in the extra stuff. So, I don't know, to me, I feel like because of that, it steered me in the right direction. That's where like 11 and 12 wins come from is, putting all the diet and all the extra work in together. And then you go into the fight like, oh, I'm ready for everything. Like, I know no matter what happens, win or lose, like, there's nothing that's going to shock me in the cage. Like, if I'm doing my jiu-jitsu, I'm doing wrestling, and I'm doing, MMA rounds, making sure all the martial arts, you're hitting them all and making sure that you're coming out the best martial artist you can, and then the wins will come with that.
Was there a moment for you in your career up to this point where everything just really clicked for you? Like, obviously there's so many swings and ups and downs in the sport, and early on didn't really go your way, but now you're on this incredible run right now. Was there a fight, a moment in your training where everything just clicked and you realized, all right, now we're off to the races, we're off and running now?
Yeah, I would say getting ready for my first title fight, and I was just doing all the extra sessions I could, getting up with a bunch of different people, different camps and stuff, and and I was being like so super focused and ready, and like, and I felt the most comfortable that I've ever felt. And then from then on, I think I've only had like one loss since then, and um, I think to me it was like, okay, once I had that title fight, like I knew how to like strategize to win MMA fights. Because sometimes, you know, guys are really good and you can't get the finish. So then you have to, you know, think in your brain how you're going to win that round. Am I down in this round? You know, you go through all this stuff in like a blink of eye, still like moving your head and trying to score your shots. So I don't know. That's how I feel about it myself.
So Blaine's going to be coming to New England for the first time in his career, making his CES debut on January 24th. Rhode Island's going to be out in full force. They always are. The Underdog and Ascension teams always have a ton of support at these events. I'm sure, you know, from a stylistic perspective heading into this fight, you plan to bring things to Blaine that he's not ready for, that he maybe hasn't seen before. What do you feel, you know, is that one intangible that you bring to the table that he's just not going to have an answer for, that he just hasn't seen from anybody before?
I guess if I had to pick anything, it's kind of, I know that my cardio usually beats people. Like if we get late into the fight, like I win that last round or that last, you know, half of a round because they're starting to fade. So I think, I'm sure he'll come in, you know, a cardio machine too, but we're going to test that. If it gets to 3+ rounds, it's on. And you know, I do 8 to 10 rounds all the time of MMA rounds. So, you know, I'll be ready for 5, no question. So I think the cardio will be huge. And I think my scramble ability, like if we get into a scramble, usually I catch people. That's when I catch you with it. I'll catch an arm, I'll catch a leg, I'll catch a neck. So, we'll see what happens, man. It might just be a stand-up fight the whole time too. And he's long and, you know, really athletic. I'm sure he's good at all aspects of the game. So if this turns to a stand-up battle, I'm sure it's going to be, you know, bang or two just because of that. Like we'll both be moving around and throwing shots. So we'll see. I think the cardio will be huge for me, and then, you know, let's see if we can keep up in those like scramble type situations.
So you're seeing a battle of wills on January 24th, and who can come out the other side?
I think so, man. Especially if you get into 5-round fights, like it's going to be a test. You know, sure he's got heart. It's going to be, like you said, a test of heart and will, and you know, usually those are 2 of my strongest aspects. I'm not the most athletic dude. I'm not the most, you know, crisp striker or best jiu-jitsu guy on the ground, but you know, my will and my heart, man, that's my strength. So we'll see for 5 rounds, you know, how he holds up under that.
I feel like the era of making predictions for fights, I wouldn't say it's over, but the door is closing, so to speak.
Yeah, it's getting kind of like,
when you sort of visualize the fight playing out, because I'm sure in your downtime, when you get your head on your pillow, getting ready to go to sleep, you're thinking about how these things play out, these different scenarios that could happen in the cage. So what's sort of the constant in your mind when you see this fight playing out? Is there a certain way that you see it going down on January 24th?
You know what's cool is that like I see a few different scenarios in my head. So there's no like one distinct like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take his back and rear naked choke him. Every time I see it, it's that. You know, I see in all different scenarios that could happen, and then what I, you know, would do in that scenario to win. So I guess there's nothing really specific, but that's what I see in my brain. Like, you know, things that I've seen him do, you know, what he might do in the fight. If that happens, what I would do, you know, what if this hits or that one, or, you know, so I kind of like see scenarios in my head and then what I would do to win in that scenario in my head. So, but that's what all I'm thinking. Obviously, like I'm always like, how am I getting that W? You know, is it TKO? Is it, you know, head kick knockout? Like we'll see. You know, I'm going to be trying to throw all that. So, knock on wood, one of them.
Is there like a out of the box like dream finish you hope to acquire someday? Like some fighters will joke around and be like, oh, I'm gonna flying omoplata this guy. And
yeah.
Crazy. Is there like something that you just someday you just want to see the opening, like Bryce Mitchell with the twister. Like, didn't see it coming, but he saw an opportunity to use it.
One. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
Twister is I'm glad you said that. So since you said it, I'm not going to pick that right now. But Twister's a dope one, though. But maybe, like, you know, if you get the walk-off, you know, knockout, that's, I think for me, I've done a bunch of the other, like, crazy stuff, I feel like. So, you know, like, flying knee type, you know, just straight overhand, you know, boom, and then you just, you know, walk off like.
You want that viral video on social media.
Yeah, that would be cool. So that's probably the one that I would, you know, I've had shots, you know, where I've heard people, but no clear, like walk-offs, like a Mark Hunt style. That's what I would like.
So obviously this is a good opportunity for you to shine on a pretty big stage in a few weeks. No doubt about that. If you're under the radar now, you'll have a chance to get over and onto everyone's radar here. But, you know, we've seen what can come from these CES title fights on these cards, especially the January cards. We've seen recently guys like Nate Andrews get a PFL call. We saw Tony Gravely get on the Contender Series. Now he's in the UFC, about to make his debut. Things can change and move in an instant when it comes to these cards and performing well. So with the new year here, what goals have you sort of set for yourself in 2020? Like, what do you foresee happening in your MMA career this year if all goes according to plan?
Okay, I guess I'm probably going to have, this might be an unorthodox answer, I don't know, but for me, I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to have this fight, try to win this world title, and then set, like, no expectations. So whatever comes, man. I'm not trying to force anything. I'm not trying to, like, oh, okay, I want this and that and that. Like, I've done a lot in my career. I can't wait for this world title fight, and that's all I'm focused on right now. And then, you know, at that time, after we get this fight in, then maybe my mind will start to branch off to, like, you know, other ideas. But for right now, I'm just super zoned in and focused on just this one and not looking past it really at all. So right now, I would just say, who knows? Like, I don't know what exactly is going to happen after, but I look forward to, man, life is good, dude. So I just look forward to whatever happens after this. Every day above ground is good.
So you're the New England Patriots right now. You're just 1 week at a time, one fight at a time.
That's it. Bill Belichick is the man, so.
Oh, good. Glad to hear you say that. I wasn't sure. I know Bessette's not a Patriots guy, so I was like, I hope, you know, you're the New England Patriots of New England MMA, of the flyweights. I like this. So,
there you go.
But the next step before we branch off is we got to take care of business on January 24th, CES 60 for the vacant flyweight title. Johnny Lopez, our guest, takes on Blaine Shutt. Main event, Matt Bessette taking on Charles Cheeks III for the vacant CES featherweight title. Twin River Casino, UFC Fight Pass. It's going to be a hell of a card to kick off 2020 for CES. Johnny, appreciate the time, man. Before I let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. Floor is yours, sir.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate your time. And I guess big thank yous to my sponsors, Timeless CBD, got Fight Fit. Let's see who else I got. Can't mess this up. Elite, Nice Fit, and then Water King 203 and New Haven Pizza Place. Let's see, all my teammates, man, they all helped me so much for every camp. They're all nasty in their own way. So having to go through all these battles and wars at Underdog, it helps me so much for the fight. So thank you to them. All my coaches and their, deep knowledge of the MMA game helps me out so much. 11 out of 12 fights I've been able to win, all because of them, Big thank you to my family, Iris and my daughters. Super, they give me so much motivation just because of them. So I want to make sure to go out and give them somebody to be proud of. Who else? And everybody else in my family, mom, grandmother, everybody, they all, for holidays, they'll adjust, cooking certain recipes that I could eat, like no rice, no pasta, no, especially being Spanish, Puerto Rican. So no rice and beans and stuff like that. So I'll get salads and like chicken breast or something on the side. So I appreciate all those little things that really helps all the camp go together, for the motivation, the dieting, the hard work. And dude, I'm just, like I said, I love life, man. And I appreciate the interview and big opportunity coming up January 24th. I can't wait.
I got to say, Johnny, most people, when you talk to fighters and they have certain nicknames, they don't live up to the moniker, but you are the quintessential Mr. Nice Guy. You have lived up to it 100%. I appreciate the time. I wish you all the best for the rest of this fight camp and on January 24th.
Thank you, man. I'll see you there.
I don't know yet. I'm working on it.
I'm working on it. After that.
Yeah, we'll talk after. You have my word.
Sounds good, my man.